Greetings to everyone on the second video today. Jimmy is with you as always, and we continue our stories. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This is very important to me. I will not detain you. Let's get started. First story from the user, Throra Let's Listen. This is honestly the weirdest thing I've ever experienced and have no idea what to do. So I, female 21, have a lot of hobbies. I'm sort of what you might call a hobby collector LOL. But my top ones right now are running, training for a marathon, baking, reading, and doing something called junk journaling. Not sure if anyone is familiar. Specifically, reading I've been doing since I was a young teenager. This started about 6 months ago when I saw that several of my old books were dog-eared, which I don't do to my books. I asked my BF if he had read them, which I would be totally fine with, but he insisted he hadn't touched them. Odd, but whatever. Then, after that, I literally could never find my running shoes. I bought a rather expensive pair and keep them separate from my other shoes, because I'm a nurse and my hospital shoes are nasty LMAO. But the running shoes I could never find. They would always turn up days later though, somewhere I definitely hadn't put them. Again, odd, but whatever. And then, my journal got completely destroyed. Somehow it was left outside in our garage, where it is known to leak when it rains. It didn't necessarily get water damaged, but the moisture made all my pages peel up, and practically 28 pages ruined. The pages take me over an hour each, and I'm quite proud of them. 28 plus hours of my artwork ruined. This is so unwise, but I genuinely started to believe the house was haunted LMAO. I did shed a few tears over my journal, and my BF rolled his eyes at that, but helped me glue them all back down and salvage as much as possible. I had a fleeting thought that he put out there, but it was honestly so weird I was like, why would he? Then, it was back to my books. I have a huge bookshelf with about 200 plus books because I read daily. I started to notice one by one, they were disappearing. Like straight up, gone. I searched every corner of the house and could not find them. I even texted all 3 of my sisters, my brother, and my BFS sister, asking if they had borrowed any and didn't tell me. They all said they hadn't. My BFS sister borrows my books often, but she always asks and insisted she didn't have any. When this happened, I was like, what the trash? And then it was my baking. I could never find my mixers or my baking sheets or anything whenever I wanted to bake. The final straw, though, was when I found my KitchenAid mixer broken, literally just would not turn on. And if you don't know, those things are expensive. I straight up asked him, did you do this? Like, why is all my trash broken or lost recently? He finally admitted to purposely hiding or breaking my things, because my hobbies annoy him. I'm not going to lie, I exploded. I told him he was a weirdo for touching my stuff and that it was honestly so strange to do this as an adult. He proceeded to defend himself, saying that I was spending more time on my made-up hobbies than with him, and this was the only way to make me focus on our relationship again, which, for context, isn't true at all. We still have a great relationship, I thought. We go on dates twice a week, we have sleep regularly, we get along with each other's families and friends. Like, I'm so confused. We've been together for 2 whole years. I love him so much, and other than this odd behavior, he's so good to me. After that argument, I was genuinely so distraught that I left the house and went to my sister's house, who lived together. They also agreed it was the oddest thing in the world. The icing on the cake when I got home this morning was that he threw out all of my trash. Cut the soles out of running shoes, cut the laces, threw out my Apple Watch, destroyed the baking things, cut the silicone molds, the box that all my missing books were in the dumpster with all of my other journal supplies. The journal he helped me fix was torn to shreds. I genuinely started to sob. I know it sounds dumb and overdramatic, but I genuinely worked so hard on my journal that it made me cry. Literally hundreds of dollars in some of my favorite books in the trash. Money spent on baking supplies, which I used to bake for my baby cousin's elementary school, ruined. I just don't understand what is wrong with him. He's never been like this before. Ever. I'm genuinely so confused what has gotten into him. What do I do? What has gotten into him? Is it something else he could be projecting? I'm genuinely so confused. Author update this story. I'm not still there. I'm with my sisters, deciding what I need to do next. Thank you everyone for the comments and help. I really am grateful for it. A few people have messaged me to let me know that my post has been posted on TikTok on one of the Reddit story things. My BF is active on TikTok, and if he sees it, this will be a million times worse. I don't know what to do about that either. I'm just digging myself in deeper holes now. And also, I know everyone is very concerned about my pup, but they also say, do not go alone. I don't know which is worse, leaving her there or going alone to get her tonight. I'm not sure why I can't post the update on the actual sub, but I'll post it here for anyone who is curious. Thank you for all your advice yesterday. A lot of people were very concerned for me, and that is honestly mind-blowing. If all you want is to know that I am okay, I am. If you want to know the full story, here. I decided last night that I really needed to go get my dog, as a lot of people said that he was going to hurt her or even kill her when I wouldn't come back. I didn't tell him I was coming, just went with my sister and let myself in with my key. He was upstairs but came down immediately, apologizing, begging me to just talk, telling me I was overreacting, all that. I just ignored him and grabbed my puppy. I told him I was taking her and my few things and that I would be back later tomorrow, as in today, with my other sisters and brother to collect my things. I told him that if he touched any more of my stuff, I was going to take him to small claims court like all of you suggested, and honestly, I was considering it now for everything he did prior. He was so stricken, and I could tell he started to get mad at that point. I ran around the house to collect my few really important things: passport, laptop, work badge. He followed me around the whole time, just begging me to give him another chance. Just ignored him. My sister took pics of the things still destroyed. He put them all in our hallway closet for some odd reason. I didn't tell him I was going to file a police report, which is why I think when my sister started to get snappy when we were leaving, calling him a few mean names, he shoved her out of the doorway she was standing in. She fell, and she wasn't hurt or anything, but it really proved things for me. He was willing to shove my innocent sister over a few words, and he will definitely do worse to me. He probably would have done worse to me if I came alone. We just immediately left after that and took my dog and my stuff back to my sister's. She helped me contact police and we have a report started. All the things he destroyed of mine, the texts admitting to it, the texts threatening me, the texts saying he would have never hurt our dog, but if it would have gotten me there, he would have done it, that he will do anything to get me back, and the small scrape my sister had on her hand when she fell. They asked if she wanted to press charges for the shove, but she said no for now. The officer was really nice, and he told me to write down everything that he broke and write down the prices. He said it might add up to a felony charge, if that's the route I wanted to take with him. I'm not sure it is, but at least it's there. That was last night. This afternoon, my brother and our friend, another man, are going to take me back to the house to pack up most of what I can. I had my sister tell my ex-BF over text that we suggest he be gone from the house for a few hours. He responded to my sister with just horrid things about me, calling me names that I never would have expected from him, telling her about all the intimate details of our relationship. He told her about my termination of the pregnancy, which she hadn't known. He said he wishes he never met me. My brother is urging me to try and file a restraining order. And for those of you concerned that he was stalking me or tracking me, I had my brother check everything, and he said it all looks fine. So, at least there is that. I'm not concerned he will try and hurt me or anything when I go back to the house. Like I said, I'm going to go with my brother and a friend, both ex-military. I'm going to stay with two of my sisters until I figure my trash out. My brother is insisting on staying with us, at least for a few days while everything settles. I thought I was overreacting, but I think my brother honestly might be LOL. I'm mourning the loss of my 2-year relationship with a man who I thought was the love of my life. A man I lived with and trusted wholeheartedly. But I don't know what happened. But he just isn't that man anymore. I think in some ways he never was. My sister made me think back on the past 2 years, and I can name at least a dozen things he did to subtly control me. Or try to. The most terrifying part is that if I didn't have the weird urge to post here, I probably would have let him convince me to forgive him. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I hope no one ever has to experience something similar. Although I know now this is far from rare. What I think about this story: this is a warning to all. Apparently, it is not as common knowledge as I would hope that abusive people can pretend to be normal at the start of relationships. That's how they hook you. After 2 years, the mask starts to slip. Also, that is the time frame for new relationship energy to run out. So there's 2 very good reasons to date for at least 2 years before getting married, making financial commitments. Let's check the user's comments. Know why he put all of her things he destroyed in the closet? So that when she came back, he could dupe her into talking with him and he could convince her to take him back. It's a lot easier to do when the memory of how trash of a human he is isn't staring you right in the face. Trying to convince someone you're actually a good person while they're staring at all of their things you've wrecked is not going to be very successful. Plus, if anyone showed up, he wouldn't have to explain what happened. Nope, nothing to see here. Just a normal day around here. I'm just a totally normal heartbroken man who's being stabbed in the heart by the woman they loved. That's all. The effort he put into this was really concerning. Over 6 months, he continuously hid and destroyed her property while lying about it, just to watch her slowly lose her grip, to the point where she even considered that they were being haunted. Then, when she called him out, he went on a full rampage, doing as much damage and hurt as he could. Pushing the sister and the threats are horrible and reason enough to leave. The consistent effort it takes to slowly make someone think they're losing their mind for 6 months, and for however long he was willing to keep it up if she hadn't confronted him, is to me the most scary part. He can keep it up and he can wait, and he will make you question yourself the whole way. Gentle reminder that abusers rarely start with physical violence against their victim, because punching another adult has large consequences, both legal through police, and in the relationship through snapping their victim out of the fog. So they hurt your children, your pets, your plants, your family, your relationships. They damage your hobby supplies and sentimental items. Because if they hurt those things that can deny they did it, avoid those bigger consequences, and they can still hurt you. In this case, OOP saw the situation escalate rapidly, so she recognized how bad it was. And even a partner who is willing to hide a pair of shoes is cause for concern. A loving, safe partner simply doesn't think to do that. I am just so glad she got out instead of letting this become a pattern. Also, I'm cracking up at this dude trying the same exact abuser's handbook they all do, and then being shocked that it didn't work. Just, ugh. I had a coworker, ages and ages ago, who was going to school at night to get her GED, and her then-boyfriend kept sabotaging her, keeping her up late at night before her classes arguing over something dumb, forgetting to come home in time to drive her there, and then saying that kind of manipulative trash. Don't you want to spend time with me? Why is this class more important than me? She did leave him, but I had to keep pointing out. A loving partner would be supportive and would work hard at helping you get your GED. I so hope she made him pay for all property damage and emotional damage. I'm a bit of a hobby collector myself, and I will tell you, none of that is cheap. I spend hundreds of dollars on my hobbies and I'm a bargain hunter. My collection is easily worth a couple thousand. Plus, the emotions connected to everything. I'd be so sad if I had a scrap of fabric I like in my sewing supplies for years, waiting for just the right project, only to find out it had been destroyed. You look forward to working with these materials, and it's awful when that's taken away from you. Honestly, the comfort of familiar tools is wonderful, and it'd definitely make me sad if I was forced to replace them, or losing the specific wear and aging of a book you've had for years. It's not as if I'm opposed to replacing things or upgrading or anything. I'm not even a particularly attached person. I donate a lot of stuff, but it's the fact that it's forcibly taken from you. If I make the decision to get a newer version of a book I love because the cover is nicer and give the old version away, that's all fine and dandy. But if someone tossed the old version even for the purpose of gifting me the new one, I'd be upset. I'd have preferred to be the one to get rid of the old book, for closure or whatever. Thanks to everyone who was with us today. I am very grateful to those who do not forget to support the channel. I love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.